Hey, hey, you kiddos. We're going live in my group, Intuitive Angel Messages on Facebook, and we're going to be talking about what is to come, what's going to happen to your body in the future, okay? I'd like to narrow it down to this upcoming year, and then, of course, I'd like to see what's going to happen past that point. But we're talking about the light infusion. What will happen to you when we take in more light frequency in the future? Okay? So what is going to happen? Will I be flying? I don't know. We're going to find out. And of course, if you guys have any questions, hello. If you guys have any questions about the topic that we're discussing today, ask away. Yeah, what's going to happen? I mean, I want to know. I don't know how everybody felt about last year, but it was a bit of a rough go, wasn't it? Last year was the beginning of the year. I was like, okay, I can handle this. I mean, they told me this is going to happen. They told me there would be an increase. They told me that, you know, we would, once we get adjusted to this next level of frequency, then we'll plateau here for a bit. I can handle this. But, you know, the lack of sleep was the biggest thing for me. I'd never experienced such a hard time sleep, like just getting no sleep. The other thing I noticed was during those ascension waves, which would last 7 to 10 days, I couldn't eat heavy foods. So I was eating like soups and, you know, protein shakes, and that seemed to help me through those days. And I also noticed there were a couple times where I had like really hot pockets on my skin from the energy coming in and then not passing through my body quick enough, so then it comes and vents out your skin in some areas. So good times. Does anybody have anything they want to add about how last year was for them energetically? I'm not talking about what's happening on the planet right now. I'm talking about ascension, light frequency. And you know what the new twist is this year is, so far we've all had a pretty big break from the big ascension waves, but what has replaced those are the solar flares. That's what I've noticed. And at first I was like, oh no. No. But what I've come to realize is, for me personally, the solar flare light is a lot easier on me. I'm like resting and sleeping a lot more. I feel much more content, much more relaxed, much more at peace. So I'm all about this year so far. But I know that come fall that this will be changing again. It's an ebb and flow. The angels never say, work really hard, work till you burn yourself out. Like, why aren't you working hard enough? They never say that. It's all about an ebb and flow. It's like, wow, something popped right off my desk here. So it's never about, you know, working, going. They never really sit there and recommend that. Some souls are more built that way, so that's just more of their speed, and they have a good chuckle about that when I'm channeling for those people. But otherwise, it's really about action, okay, doing, and then stepping back and resting, taking a break, then action, doing, and then taking a break. So I'm just going to have a look at your comments to see what last year was like for you. And then we're going to talk about what's going to happen this year. It's, here we go. So let's see what last year was like. Ooh, there were a few months last year that knocked me on my back energetically. Me too. I always was like, yeah, I can handle this ascension. I can handle anything. But last year was They always tell me that Ascension has to come at a gradual pace because we wouldn't be able to make it if it was quickly. So we are going to go to the next uptick, and then we're going to coast. Right now, in my opinion, we're mainly coasting. Yeah, we're having the solar flares come in. Yeah, we're getting this and that, but it's nothing like last year so far. Am I right? Last year was just like whack, knocked me on my butt. Okay. So Kristin's saying that the no sleep was the absolute worst for me too. Yeah. And the extreme fatigue. Yeah, I was finding it hard to like drive a car. That's how fatigued I was. I was like, okay. And then I remember really complaining to my guardian angel, of course. And her answer was, sleep when you can. So I'm like, okay. So I'm going to lay down during the daytime. I'm going to fit in a nap every day because I cannot sleep at night when this intensifying energy is peaking. You know when this energy starts to peak because your mind becomes really alert. Your thoughts start to race. You might have heart palps or anxiety. You're like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to sleep too much tonight because the energy will start to pick up. So that's what I started doing. I started to sleep when I absolutely could. And I noticed the best times for me were during the day, and also when the energy would subside more around 5 a.m., then I could sleep between 5 a.m. and when my alarm clock went off. That really helped. But when I talk with Jesus about what's coming down the road, it's going to be more energy. It's going to be more intensified. It's not going to be peaking just at nighttime. And we might even find it difficult to sleep during the daytime. We're not going to get as much sleep. We're going to be eating lighter foods, high vibrational light foods. Yeah. Yeah. That's totally, yeah, it's absolutely normal. Yes, the anxiousness can. So what do we do when we feel that anxiousness? Do we just sit there in it? Or do we go and ground our little butts outside? We ground like there's no tomorrow. If it's not going to be as easy for those who are already ungrounded, maybe you've had different starseed origins and it's not as easy for you to fit your energy in this body on a regular basis. For you, for those of you that are very empathic, very sensitive, very ungrounded as is, you need to ground yourself more now than ever before. If you weren't grounding several times a day, you're going to have to fit that in ASAP, or it's going to really suck. It's going to suck big time. And I'm not typically an anxious person, so I'll look over at my friend and I'll be like, I think there's energy coming in because I'm starting to feel anxious and my mind's racing. And so I'm like, oh, okay, this must be the energy. A couple days ago, I felt irritated for no reason. I don't even know why I was irritated. There was no reason. And so I remember saying to my guardian angel, I think there's energy coming in today that's deeply penetrating, and I'm feeling like an irritation from it. It's just my body is not accustomed to such energy penetrating so deeply. And she said, very smart that I picked that up. So I know it's not about anything that's happening in my life. It's not about anything. It really is just the energy. And as long as we can catch it when it's coming in, we'll be golden. Then we can ground our energy and repeatedly let go of any thought forms of agitation or irritation or frustration or anger. Okay, so when that's happening, you just remind yourself it's just the energy coming in. So it's really going to force you to go with the flow. You have no other choice. Anytime you have really irritated thought processes, you're going to get a major kickback from that too. Like you'll feel it more intensely. If you're really irritated with what's going on around you in the world, you're going to feel it even more intensely. So it's not even about what's going on. It's about you managing your own frequency and your own thoughts. Okay. All right. Solar flares are one thing. This light coming in is entirely different story. Yeah, I totally agree. Bring on the solar flares. I mean, yeah, it's intensive, but it's nothing in comparison to last year. Man, with those ascension waves, for me personally. Mhm. Honestly, if you can sleep now, I'll ask my guardian angel, okay? But if you're sleeping a lot right now, you sleep. You sleep as much as you can right now, because I know what's coming, and we're going to be sitting ducks, if you want to say, for this incoming frequency, which is well, this incoming frequency is up here, right? It is super high, and we're taking in more of it. So it doesn't really add up to sleeping. So you can get as much sleep now as possible. What are your thoughts? She's just laughing. What are you? What are your thoughts about sleeping a lot right now? She says the incoming light codes are allowing us to, it's just offering us to rest right now, and it's important to rest right now and sleep as often as you wish. And then she's saying that I'm accurate in that come the fall, it will be a different story. That it's almost like a little dial is going to flip or switch. Okay, so we're going to get to that in a sec. Okay. You have to let go of things that you're aggravated about. It's not that you have to figure it all out or problem solve it in the moment. If you have to, you have to. But if it's a reoccurring, like things that you're focused on that are aggravating and annoying on a repeated basis, and you feel it through your whole body of irritation, you have to examine, okay, it's incoming light frequency. And what does the body do when we have this inflow of light frequency? It kind of, at times, depending on how much is coming in, it can go into a fight or flight mode of anxiety, anxiousness, irritation. If you really don't know what's going on, you could even move very quickly into anger or frustration, right? Have you ever looked around at everybody right now? I mean, there are world events as well, but there's this overwhelming kind of irritation at times. On these days where the light frequency was permeating a few days ago, it did feel like people were more irritated. All right. So with the body not quite understanding what's going on and going into a fight or flight mode, it's incredibly important to go out and ground yourself multiple times a day. And then we can ask the earth to pull the energy through us, out our feet, into her on a steady, regular basis. I say out my root chakra, out my feet. Once I asked for that, my ascension symptoms were a lot easier to manage. Oh man. And trees, they really are the key. I know that sounds so fluffy to a lot of people. I'm not going to go lean on a tree. I'm not going to go hug a tree. I'm not going to go sit on the ground and lean my back on a tree. You just wait till this energy picks up on earth. You will be chomping at the bit to get out to those trees. You'll be heading out at 3 a.m. Okay. Trees, number one grounding tip. And I know I've always said that, and you guys are like, okay. You can do Epsom salt baths, scrubs, giant palm-sized rough cut rose quartz on your lap near your pubic bone, but nothing grounds you like the earth. The earth is here to ground us. And if you think hundreds, thousands of years ago, we were always outside on the earth, and now we're not. And now we're inside, and we'll stay inside for days, working inside, long periods, long stretches staying inside. So it's so important to get outside. Yeah, sadness or anger. There's times where it's kind of like a loss of hope or a loss of control. Like I'm not in control of what's happening here because it's coming in so hot and heavy. And really what it is we're getting cleared. We're getting a lot more intake of light frequency. This light frequency is so intensively high vibrational. Like when you're channeling on a regular basis and you're tuning into these high vibrational energies, whether it's your guardian angel, your spirit guide, grandma that's passed over on the other side, who's now in pure and utter bliss, it's so much more intensive and more high vibrational than where I am. So it's so important that I ground my energy, and I really have to watch it that I don't overdo it. I can't do more than a certain number of readings a week, because otherwise I could burn my energy out very easily. You can't, what you resist persists. You can't go into resistance. Well, you can if you want, and you'll watch people globally going into resistance and going into utter chaotic periods, okay? Because that's all I hear is coming. Periods, pockets of chaos. Or you're going to say, okay, I recognize what this is. I'm going to go with the flow. I'm going to observe my thoughts. I'm going to observe what's coming up to the surface. I'm just going to let it come up to the surface. And now I'm going to rest and relax. I'm going to go ground my energy as best as I can. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I agree, Toma. You were not the only one. Yeah. And there's plenty of things to focus on in the world to get irritated and aggravated about. That's the easy path. If you want to go do that, have at it. You could do that all day, all night, right? It'd be so easy. So easy. Oh my God. So the new way, the new earth is managing our own vibrational frequency, becoming the manifestors of our reality. Well, we already are. We're manifesting all the time. Now we actually get to decide what we are going to manifest by observing our thoughts as they arise in our minds. We're not used to doing that. We're not taught to do that, are we? Yes, Serena, yes. The answer is yes. You will notice your chakra centers, specifically your heart chakra, getting worked on. Absolutely, yes. Yes. Especially if you really need it, that's where the angels will go to, and they will be very persistent at working on that until they feel that they'll work on that for weeks. Okay. So, you know, there have been many moments in my life where I've really fixated on things, and now moving forward, I'm realizing and recognizing that I do it less. That's the good key point, and that I'm becoming the still observer, and I'm resisting less because I recognize where we're heading, and I can't do it like I once did. So let's tune in and see what's a-coming, okay? Okay. So my guardian angel is saying, greetings, dear ones. This is Agnes, Kristin's guardian angel. It is an honor to be able to speak with each of you at this time. And for those of you who are watching this at a later time, I welcome you upon this journey as well. So nice. Okay. September. Things are going to crack on. You know, like the horse is taking a break. It's having some hay and maybe some water right now. It's basking in the sunlight. And then come September, it's like, time to crack on now. We've rested long enough. So basically things are going to pick up again, okay? This ascension process taking place on Earth is not just for you individually. It's also for the collective here and for the Earth herself. It's really important to just be aware of that. Yeah? Yeah. In the days ahead, there will be bumpier days coming. but you do have tools in your tool bag to make things easier for you, on you. And if they're really too much for you, then you can call upon your angels to help make things easier, okay, and better for you. But the lack of sleep part of things is something that is going to repeat again later this year. So the way around that at this time, I think in the future the energy will be peaking 24 hours a day. Like it'll just be much more steadily throughout the entire day. Right now, we can sleep during the day and have a nap, have a break, get sleep during the day. Whereas in the future, we're not maybe going to be able to do that. We might get a cat nap, or we'll just have to catch those moments where the energy subsides for an hour or two. Okay. Yeah, that's basically what she's saying to me. And you know what I tell them? I need sleep. So whatever we got to do to make that happen, I won't be a happy camper here without it. So I've had my chat with them. I've had, my word, my 2 cents. So we'll see how far that goes. All right. So things will steadily be picking up again in September. And I'm seeing middle of September. I'm even seeing like the 10th to the 15th starting to slowly rise again. Energetically, vibrationally. And then as we move into October, now we're at more of a we're higher up now. Things are higher up, energetically, vibrationally. And the energy is steadily streaming in at that point. We're not going to take too long to pick up where we were, is what she's saying. So we're going to, and now we're back where we were, and we're going. November, we're going to get a lull in November for a week to 10 days, roughly. So we're going to get a little bit of a break. And then December, so November, we get a little respite, and then it's going to peak again into December, and then rest. Okay, the whole planet takes a rest break at this time. So this is the time that it's scheduled, because we all rest automatically. And then January, we pick back up again. January is the month where things are going to go up even higher. Yes. And February, consistently higher. So it's all about going up, and then we're going up again and up again. So January, we're going up again. And then it's going to carry through to February. And she's talking about February having deep clearing energetically. The energy getting in deeper. Okay? It's going to get in deeper. If we want to call it clearing, it's basically transmuting all dense frequency. So sometimes we create our own dense frequency by way of the thoughts that we house on a steady, regular basis, don't we? So this energy is just going to clear that a lot. But there's other people's energy, other people's thoughts, right? So it's a collective clearing as well. What are you saying there? If we want to hunker down and stay in and rest and relax as much as we can, take a slower, just slow down a bit come February, that will be okay. Okay. Even January, but definitely by February. All right. And then March, we're getting a little respite as well. But again, more clearing. We're kind of used to it by this point. This is just how it is. This is what she said. And then April, now it starts to subside a bit. Okay, so we'll leave it be at that. Holy Toledo. So basically that's what's coming. I'm just going to see if anybody has any questions. Okay, are we talking about this July and August? Right now? If we think about it, there will be, I think, an increase due to the fact that everybody's outside more so in the sunlight. So as far as solar light codes or light codes coming from the sun, absolutely. I could see that. But as far as like overwhelming incoming ascension waves this July and August, she's talking about when we have the incoming solar rays that and we're taking that in and we're going, okay, we're intaking those light codes from the sun, source coming in and piggybacking that to ramp things up just a bit more, as much as you can take. But as far as like incoming ascension waves, the answer, like big, like we did last year, it's not saying that we're not going to get some ascension waves, but it's not going to be like the big ascension waves we got last year where we're not sleeping. And she's also saying that through the summer months, it's really about what individuals can take. So one person will be ready for much more, and that's where Source will piggyback and come in and top you up even more, whereas somebody else is just capable of taking in what is coming over the summer months, and it's based on what individuals can take. So does that make sense? Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? Okay, so anything else that you want to say about the summer? Just relax, go within, decompress. If you feel like sitting under the sun rays, that would also be good for you. And depending on what's coming, as far as solar rays, some of those might uptick and be more for us than other moments. So other times we're not getting that. Other times we're getting 17 sunbursts from the sun, okay, solar flares. And 2 of those hit the earth at one period a few months ago. And it's funny how the scientists are gauging that the sun is going to be having more solar flares come 2025. And it's like, well, were you anticipating on what's happening now? Is anyone looking at the Schumann resonance? Okay. Yeah. So we're getting a basic, we're getting it easy. This to me is easy right now. I don't know about you guys, but this right now, for me, in comparison to last year, is a break. For you, you might not be feeling that way, but in comparison to last year, on my ascension path, this is a break right now, personally. So I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but right now is break time. We're still getting it, but it's not like, and we're getting it in a different way than how we were getting it last year. Holy cow. Last year was just absolute bombardment. And for those of us that are ready and it's time, we're going to get more than, say, your next door neighbor who isn't ready and maybe won't be going as far as you will on the ascension path, and that's okay. Okay. Yeah. I always use the word uptick because it's, and I don't even like it that much, but it shows, okay, we're coming along, and then we're up, and now we're here. So by early next year, we will be on the new plateau. It's just that, like Eric says, you know, with the magnifying glass and the sunlight coming through the magnifying glass on the anthill, there's a lot of people on Earth that aren't aware of what's going on. They don't understand why they're feeling the way they are, or what's happening with these crazy symptoms. And so with this increase, it's going to be maybe more frazzling for them. Maybe they're not interested in grounding. Maybe they're okay with putting low vibrational substances and foods in their body, which isn't going to be conducive to this new frequency permeating the planet, right? You're cracking me up, Faith. Yeah, not as heavy as last year. No, not yet. Yeah, yeah. So we really just have to gauge, okay, this is the energy coming in, and it's easy for my mind to get, and for me to get irritated right now, because my body's kind of going into a fight or flight mode right now. It doesn't understand what's going on. It's just irritated. If your whole body is irritated and you're feeling anxiety and anxiousness, that's probably going to affect your mind, right? So, any other suggestions or tips for everybody? Drink plenty of water. Spring water, not tap water. Okay? Not tap water. She's saying it again. I'm not going to repeat it, but she's saying it again. So not tap water, no matter what you do with it, whether you put a filter on it or you put it in your Brita, we're not touching tap water anymore. And I've heard this for 18 years. So again, no tap water. All right, we got it. So we're getting spring water from the earth, which is alkaline, and it has the minerals in it that are good for us. And it also is helping to satiate our bodies. So do you notice when you drink water, it could be bottled water that you're getting from somewhere, or it could be your tap water, but you're constantly thirsty. If you're constantly thirsty, even though you're drinking this repeatedly, you're not getting satiated. Your body's not absorbing it. So spring water, plus everything that's in the spring water is really good for you. She's also talking about it being very grounding for our bodies to drink spring water, as it comes right deep from the earth herself. And it carries that vibrational frequency along with it. So it's really important that we're drinking spring water. We can, look in your local phone book online, find the local springs, and then they'll deliver right to your door. All right. Anything else? Okay. She says that she feels that we've covered everything as to what's to come. As far as foods, maybe don't touch the caffeine and sugar during these periods of time. Can you imagine, okay, we're going along, now we're ungrounded, now the energy's coming in and I'm chugging coffee and Coca-Cola and I've got a chocolate bar, probably going to ramp you up through the roof. Probably. She looks at me and she goes, So I'm just putting that out there and she agrees. Okay. No, the answer is no, Lauren. She just said that. No filtration of that stagnant, dead water is going to help it. And I've heard them say that before. Well, I suppose that's when we do our investigation, Roy, right? You got to investigate these companies and you got to do your research and your due diligence. Also, there are government bodies that come and test their water, just like here where I'm living. I can see that they have outside third party testing the water sources to make sure that this is what it is. And I take that very seriously as well. Wow, that's pretty awesome, Jacqueline. Awesome. Anything that you're going to put into your, it's so funny, isn't it? Because when we sit down and we drink alcohol, which is a total toxin for the body, right? We'll go and chug that back, no problem. We don't do any investigation on what we're putting in our bodies then, do we? Or if somebody's smoking a joint, you don't do investigating as to what's in that joint, do you? No, you just smoke it. But as soon as we come to water, it's like, everybody's like all the chemicals in cigarettes. Does anybody do any investigative research on that? Nope. They just smoke it because it makes them feel good temporarily for a short time. Or your fix. So as far as anything else that's really good for you, right? Don't touch the colored, chemical, packaged, boxed products in the grocery store. It's probably not good for you. That's probably a good gauge to go by. And then as far as water is concerned, that's up to each individual to do their research. I've tried out about 3 or 4 different springs in my local area, and I also go by what my body's telling me. What? My body's going to talk to me and tell me if it's good or not? No, I don't believe you. Your body will give you signals. And if you quiet your mind long enough and you're holding on to water, your body will give you even just a subtle push forward or a tightness in your body and pull back. And it's up to you to pick up on the signals as to what your body's telling you it wants. That's what I'd like to say. And nothing taught me that more than when I had to really pick and perfect my diet during long stretches of illness due to ulcerative colitis in the past. I had to get really good at listening to exactly what my body was telling me, because I was really tired of being sick for 2 years straight in the very beginning. So I really had to hone in. What is my body telling me? So I went on a diet at that time with a cooked down chicken, leafy greens, vegetables, and I cook it down so it's easier for my body to process. And I ate that straight for 14 days with spring water, by the way, in the soup. And then that's all I ate. I cut out all sugar, all caffeine, all dairy, to allow my body to reverse the autoimmune inflammatory response. And it worked. And that's what my body told me to do. Oh, was I miserable? There's my mom eating pancakes in the morning and donuts in the afternoon. Oh, she loves her sweets. And I would sit there and watch her eat whatever she wanted. And I so wanted to cheat on the diet, but I'd been sick for 2 years. 2 years. And I was like, no, you're not going to cheat. You've already been sick for 2 years. So it's up to us to do the due diligence. You will be the one to determine if it's the right water for you, because you're going to hone in on your body's response when you're looking at it. You're going to get a yes or a no response, and your body will tell you if that's the right water for you or not. But I'll tell you this, there's nothing more that I've heard from my team of angels about tap water over the past 18 years. It's dead, and it's not good for you. I don't even like bathing in it. There are a few people actually that live in my city. They can't even bathe in it. So they have to go buy spring water, and then they fill up the tub twice a week and they bathe in that. I'm like, I remember when I first moved here, the family that I was living with had this dugout tree carved into a bathtub, and everybody bathed in rainwater. And I remember back then, I was there for 3 or 4 months, and it was the first time I didn't have irritated skin in my life. And I realized, oh, it's what's in the tap water. So when I was bathing in that rainwater, I didn't have eczema, I didn't have dry, itchy bumps on the, or those bumps on the back of my skin. Like, my entire skin felt incredible. So yeah, that is a cue and a sign right there about what's in the tap water. Okay, any last words? Whatever comes your way, you can handle it. Know this. Nothing will be given to you far out exceeding what spirit feels you can handle. Okay? It's really important to go within, be the still observer, ground your energy often, and go with the flow. You can make this a bumpy ride or a bumpy path for yourself moving forward, or she's saying, or not. Personally, can I interject? There are moments where it starts off being bumpy, but then I'm aware and I catch what's happening, and then I'll correct. I'll move in a better direction that's better suited. So today the energy's coming in, Kristin. So whatever happens today is just, I'm not going to respond to it. Not today. Not today. Whatever it takes for me to go with the flow and let go and not overanalyze or overthink about whatever is happening. And it's funny, even like little thoughts, you'll just overanalyze and you're like, what the heck? Just not today. So remember that, okay? Yeah, Jacqueline, you're noticing your skin gets irritated from the tap water in England. I would love to bathe in rainwater or water coming from a fresh flowing creek or something that would be much better for my skin. I would love that. Oh man, I would do that in a heartbeat. I'm actually thinking about, just getting a barrel, but it's a lot of work, right? So you guys, moving forward, ground your energies often. Watch what you're putting in your mouth. Watch what you're watching on TV, and watch your own vibrational frequency, and watch your own thoughts. Be the still observer of your thought. It's just a pattern of behavior you get used to. And then you recognize what's energy and, oh, this is actually something I have to deal with in my life right now. But whatever it is, go with the flow as best as you can. Don't sit in the rowboat and row against the current in life, bucking the current all the time. Okay? It's not a enjoyable, fun ride. All right, you guys. I'll see you very soon. Bye.